We got one. Big arm for the class of 2025. We got a quarterback verbally committed. Luke Nickel. Welcome to the U.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We talked a lot about Luke Nickel during the week. Got a scouting report from Larry Bluestein, very high on the young man. Got a scouting report from Brian Smith, really high on Luke Nickel. I've had a chance to watch Luke Nickel a little bit, quarterback out of Milton High School, not the same Milton that Emory Williams comes from, different Milton in Alpharetta, Georgia. He's got a cannon, does a great job throwing on the run. You've got to worry about his mobility a little bit. This guy's got the stuff, and let's bring on a good friend of the show. We always love it when we can talk with Chalupa Batman on a Saturday. And Chalupa, I know you're as excited as I am, probably more excited about 2025 quarterback Luke Nickel, because you've had a chance to talk to him already.
Yes, sir. First off, happy Saturday, Donno. Happy Canes Fest Day. Also, just elated that we got us our quarterback in the 2025 class, someone that I've been high on, that actually Brian Smith, during his Elite 11 process, he was one that Brian Smith told me, go watch this young man. And as Donno said, spoke with him just a few days ago. He's that kind of quarterback you want in the quarterback room. He's a natural born leader. His guys love him. If you see any tweets you put out about him, you'll start getting likes from all of his football players, all of his coaches. Wow. They rave about him. His tight end, his running backs, they literally love playing football with him. He has that Phillip Rivers, that Brett Favre, where people just rally around him. And then on the field, like Donno said, cannon. He has a hose for an arm, throws really well on the run. He's sneaky athletic. And what you really, really like is going to his right or to his left. He's accurate on the move. In an offense like Coach Dawson's, where they're going to move the quarterback and they want you to get the ball out quick, he is, if you could create a quarterback for this offense, you'd create Luke Nickel.
You know, it's interesting because for someone who his film looks fantastic, you know, he's had productive Elite 11 workouts, so he's starting to get attention from scouts. But I know I'm going to have the 3-star brigade in the comments like, wait, Mario, 3-star Mario is at it again. He's not only getting 3 stars from 2024, he's getting them from 2025. I don't really understand this one, Luke. No, you're not Luke. Chalupa, I don't really understand this one about Luke because, you know, a lot of people, when you watch him and you see the attention he's starting to get, and he's got a good offer list already. He's got offers from Florida State, Penn State, Ole Miss, Michigan State, Nebraska, North Carolina. So he's got I guess there's maybe not enough SEC offers in there to satisfy, you know, some of the star givers. But this is a guy who I think could continue to rise up the ranks.
Oh, definitely. And he plays at a powerhouse. He plays against powerhouses. He plays really good competition where he plays at the rankings for a 2025 football player. They don't really get ranked until their junior year.
Right.
So a lot of it is preliminary. What you see is 24/7 will give 3 stars, usually to someone who's going to get 4 or 5 or 4 or 5. Usually the ones that don't get ranked yet will probably be your true 3-star or 2-star guys. If you look, if you are someone who wants to dive into the rankings and you go look at his rankings, he's like a 3-star 98 something, which means he's a Reese's Pieces away from being a 4-star football player. What that tells you is going into his junior year that they have their eye on him. He's probably going to get a massive upgrade. Rivals already upgraded him to a 4-star. I believe it was after the Elite 11 workouts that he had. And he's just got production. Production over stars. 2,500 yards. He does not turn the ball over. He's got great ball placement. And like I said, what he has in between his ears is what's really, really important. He's a student of the game, and he's just an ultimate competitor.
You know, Chalupa mentioned something about Luke being well-liked by his teammates. I want to dive into that when we come back because I think one of his offensive teammates is something Miami is going to be taking a long and hard look at. We're only getting started. Chalupa Batman is with us. Keep it locked right here to Locked On Canes. Guys, for a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know your part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop at eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers, eligible items only, exclusions apply. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen today. Alex Donno alongside Chalupa Batman talking about Luke Nickel, 2025 quarterback committing to the University of Miami on Friday night. It's good to know his teammates like him because he's got a tight end teammate, Ryan G, who looks like a real one. And I think Miami's going to go after him. So hopefully that bond with Nickel being a Miami commit, maybe he can tell his teammate, come on down to the U.
That's what you hope for, right? That's why you try to build these pipelines. And his tight end, Ryan G, 4-star tight end, he is a complete tight end in every sense of the word. Blocking, being a receiver from inline, they flex him out. He pass blocks just as good as he run blocks. And here's the key. Our new quarterback has been playing football with this young man since they started playing football. Ever since Ryan G has known football, his QB1 has been Luke Nickel.
Oh, wow.
So obviously we're not the only ones in the running for when it's a top elite tight end like this. You're going to have the Big Ten schools calling. You're going to have the SEC schools calling. So it's going to be a bit of a fight to get him in the orange and green. But we've got his best friend, and no one recruits better than your buddy. So got my fingers crossed on Ryan G. He's also got TJ Lester, who's in the backfield there at Milton, who has taken a couple Miami visits. So there's a couple guys that Miami's high on that's on that roster, and Luke will become the ambassador now for the 2025 class and hopefully help us out.
So that's 2025. I think there could be something brewing in the class of 2024 as well, Chalupa. And obviously, we're still hurting a little bit after missing out on Colin Simmons. That was a disappointing end of the week, but there is renewed buzz about Miami's opportunities potentially to flip 4-star edge Elias Rudolph from his Michigan commitment. That was one. Miami got into it a bit late for him because he had just moved down to South Florida. The Canes surged. And I heard that on the day it was in early July when he announced Michigan, it was pretty close between Miami and Michigan. The Canes have not stopped working that one. And it's not just you and me saying there could be a flip here on the horizon because Steve Wiltfong has dropped the crystal ball for Elias Rudolph to flip from Michigan to Miami. Michigan must not like us very much because Collins at Chiampong last year, and then maybe Elias Rudolph this year. But this is a hell of a player, Chalupa, if Miami can get him.
He is another one of those game changers on the defensive line. Insane length, athletic, crazy explosive. He's got the bend you want off the edge. He's the kind of player, when you look at his film, your mind goes, Jason Taylor would just have a field day with this young man. Just with the athleticism and what he can do, you already got a guy like Lightfoot in this class. I think if we can pull that off and flip Elias Rudolph, I think that's a game changer for the defensive line. When you look at the future going forward with Collins and Cyrus Moss and Reuben Bain and Jaden Wayne and Lightfoot, you add Rudolph to that, and we are seriously cooking. Obviously, like Donno said, we got in late with him, but the staff made a really good impression on him. He came down to the barbecue, so that's got to be a good sign as well. You know how Mario is. He's never going to stop recruiting a young man until December. So, we all pretty excited. Hopefully, we get the flip. Again, like Donno said, Michigan probably don't like us very much at this point. But for those of you that have been kind of upset and worrying about the defensive line in this class, just know the staff is not stopping. Just because somebody commits somewhere else, they're going to continue to do their due diligence, and there's always a plan. There's a plan, there's a backup plan, and then there's a backup plan for that. So, just stay positive, stay optimistic. The season's just around the corner too when we play better. more good things will happen. But I've got my fingers crossed. I saw the crystal ball this morning, and I immediately was like texting guys like Donno, like, ah! So we're excited, and hopefully we get some good news soon.
Good stuff as always here. Chalupa Batman. Follow him on Twitter at Corey Carmona, who's also part of the You Heard podcast, which I love. And you do such a great job, Chalupa, with the interviews that you do with prospects and the film sessions. When's the next time we can see you or hear you? Or if you want to promote one of the drops you just had within the last couple days, go ahead.
So on the channel right now is an interview with Luke Nickel. We sat down, we watched this film together, we talked. He did talk about Coach Dawson. He talked about his visit. He talked about how much he really enjoyed being at Miami and how much he loves the offense. So I try to do one of those a week with a player. This Tuesday on the channel, I will be dropping the Derek Plaz interview. So I sat down with our 3-star commit, Derek Plaz. If you guys haven't heard him speak, you're going to love him. He's mature, hungry about the game, and he loves Miami. He talked a lot about the class and how they've kind of bonded, and how him and Judd have kind of take it on their shoulders to bring better players to Miami and to kind of make the class a brotherhood. It was really, really interesting to hear him talk about stuff like that. So I've been doing those on the channel. So once a week, I will release one of those, hopefully with more commits. I want to get the whole 2024 class. So hopefully I can get those. And obviously, check me out on You Heard. We drop new episodes Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays. I'm here with my guy, Donno.
Love it. Great stuff, Chalupa. We'll talk to you again next time. And thank you, everyone, for making Locked On Canes your first listen today. Whether you listen to the audio version, Apple Podcasts, subscribe, Spotify, Google, Odyssey app, whatever platform, subscribe. And if you get the video version, make sure to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel and hit the thumbs up on this video. And we will talk to you again next time on another episode of Locked On Canes, part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.